Shalom, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Jezreel Talks, where we help the African diaspora repatriate to Ghana with ease. Family, today we're going to talk about some things that we wish we would have known prior to moving to Ghana.
Right.
All right. And so it took some practice with that one, guys. Okay. And so 3 things that we wish we would have known prior to moving to Ghana. Okay. For me, I'm going to give my first one and then I'll pass it. Somebody have to think about the other 2. But the first one I would say is I wish that I would have known that travel was possible at a younger age. That's what I wish. I wish that I would have known that I could build a house or own land at a younger age. And so that's why I'm so excited to be here with my daughter, right? Who, that she has that opportunity at a young age to, be able to acquire land and be able to build at a young age. That way she'll be able to have her space, at 40, years old, 50 years old, and things of that nature. So I don't know. That's one thing that I wish that I would have known, prior to coming here. Is like back in the day, I wish somebody would have said, hey, you know that in Ghana you can buy land. And I would have said, what? Say what? And so, yeah, that's one thing.
Yes, I totally agree about, wishing that I would have known that travel is more accessible while I was still working in the U.S. But another thing also, kind of to tag on to that, is I wish I would have known that outside of your plane ticket, it is more affordable, just going about life in other countries. Sometimes I feel like, because I would be at work, daydreaming about traveling, because who doesn't, daydream about traveling, taking vacations, do all these things. But when I would look up the price of the plane tickets, it would often be too expensive. I'd be like, well, this is why everybody doesn't take vacations, only certain class of people, take vacations. This must mean that travel is not accessible to me because I wasn't making, a lot of money while I was working. And so I would look at the prices of plane tickets and it would just put me off to the entire thing. But I didn't know that past the price of your plane ticket, depending on what country that you're going to, it can be super affordable. It's more affordable than you think,
And that's even outside of Ghana. That's right. Other countries.
Yeah. And so definitely, don't let the cost of the plane ticket deter you. Right. You're going to have to save up for that plane ticket. That plane ticket costs, it might take you out.
Not only the plane ticket cost, but also everything that comes along with the visa and the vaccination visa, or whatever that's needed along with that. So
that's true.
It can add up. It can add up, family.
That's true. But for me, when I started seeing them thousands, I was like, ew. It started looking at me like, oh. But, I would say I wish I would have known that beyond the price of the plane ticket, cost of living can be very, very affordable. Don't allow the price of the flight to deter you from planning your travels out. That's what I was. Moses, hey.
I'm like, I don't know when to allow you to talk today, but yeah.
Moses, what you got?
So, personally, through the help of the Most High, I've gotten the opportunity to, be, around a lot of diasporans, help numerous of them in getting 1 or 2 things done, and all praise to the Most High for that. Per my experience, most of them have made this statement that, I wish I knew the price of a land, one plot of land in Ghana. I wish I knew all of these, method or procedures in which I could use to build while I was still actively working in the diaspora. Because if they knew, they would be able, they could have set out a plan to acquire certain properties for themselves, acquire land, set up a plan to build their houses and even establish some businesses before finally making their move to repatriate fully to Ghana or to their continent, because the news didn't really do a good job in terms of how the continent is, in terms of people saying, oh, you can't even acquire land in Ghana, you can acquire land in other places, it's difficult. Of course, people have had terrible experiences where people were not trustworthy with them, in several things. But most of them said, I wish I knew this, whilst I was actively working in Ghana. Like by now, I have at least my 2 bedroom or my 3 bedroom
Right.
house built up before I
Right.
finally make the move. And so we really want to share that with you out there, because if the Most High is, giving you signals to move, and He give you the direction in terms of which country to go, you might want to, at least go in there, try to establish some contact and build some trust, and map out your plan. According to His will, map out your plan. Um, while you are actively working, and begin to do certain things
Right.
before you finally repatriate, either yourself or with your entire
Family.
family coming down. Guess what? You save yourself from a lot of things, from losing certain monies. Before you sell your house that you are living in over there, guess what? You have like 2 or 3 bedroom house built here, and you are coming here not to rent from the money of the sales of your property, could be
Right.
your car or something. And most of those activities can take chunk of your money, out of your pocket. And so most of them said, I wish I knew this. I wish a regular phrase that I usually put, I wish I would have met you like earlier. Like,
Right. Right. And I think
because,
like
yeah,
people don't consider the process that you're able to start now and do a little at a time. Like you don't
right.
have to jump all in at
Right,
once.
right. So while they were still working, if they knew about certain things, they would have been, look, this month I'm setting this amount of money here, because the dollar is constantly higher than the cedi, and so the little dollar you put out, you'll be able to do much more in Ghana, or a lot of African countries that you are trying to move to. So in that terms, if they were working and even like setting aside $1,000 a month or $2,000, 5,000, depending on their salary, they would have been able to do more or set up certain structures in place, like buying a land, building their house, or even establishing, their company and all that before they made the move here. So yeah,
Kind of tagging on to what Moses was saying, which was a great point. People wishing that they would have known the cost of land, and wishing that they would have known the cost of, a house and things like that. And I 100% agree. I do wish I would have known the cost of land and things like that. In addition to that, I also wish I would have known, that things were accessible, things that I didn't think were accessible to me. When you move abroad to certain countries, especially certain African countries, they become more accessible. Things like home ownership. Home ownership is something that it's not easily obtained in the US, especially not today. The average price of the US home, last I checked, was like what, $1 million? The average cost
I
of
think it's
a
like maybe
home.
500,000 or 600,000, depending on what area I guess
Oh, I'm
that you're
sure.
in.
But it's the bottom line is it's so expensive. You guys are so expensive. And if you're taking out a mortgage, now you're locking yourself in for 30 years, and you're going to be paying like, 3 times, 4 times the price of the house. And then it's just like you don't even get to kind of sit back and enjoy,
Yeah, because you have
your
to
home
work. Yeah.
ownership status. Yeah, you just always have to be concerned about making your next mortgage payment, paying your property taxes, all of these things that come along, with home ownership in the US. And it makes it seem like you can't afford. And even if you can't afford, then some people are unhappy with their home purchase.
Right.
But once you move abroad, like I wish I would have known that these things are, one, more accessible, and two, to an extent, they're more stress free. Like once you finish building, you have less things to worry about, and you have more time to just sit and enjoy the investment that you put in, and you can just enjoy your space. I wish I would have known that earlier, while I was still working, because then I would have, like Moses said, made certain plans, set certain money aside, work, and then, send a little. And, if there was somebody that was trustworthy,
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
yeah,
say. I
if
was
there,
going there.
yeah, somebody that is trustworthy that you trust, be like, hey, I'm working, I'm going to send you X amount, per month, build my house for me, continue this for me, oversee my project for me. And that way, when when the house is done or whatever investment is done, I can just
Walk
say
into it,
bye,
yeah.
say bye, quit my job in, grand fashion, and then just leave, just
Don't be
leave
too
out.
grand, y'all. Don't be too like. Don't set it off at the office. Okay, just bow out gracefully and say, okay, that's enough. We've had enough.
I've always wanted to just quit a job in grand fashion, just to be like, you know what? No, I'm done with this. Forget everybody. Goodbye. But, that wasn't in the cards for me. But somebody, if y'all are watching this and y'all are able to,
Don't listen to Ashley.
build your house somewhere else, and then, save up, for your grand exit. But yeah, those are things that I wish I would have known.
I think that it's important what you talked about and brought up. It's trust. Trust is everything, right? That people would be able to trust someone to do the thing that they're looking for them to do, right? If they say that they're giving money for a borehole, that there's a borehole being dug, right? And that they're giving money for a foundation, that there's a foundation going in, right? And so I thank and praise the Most High that He's given us a heart to do that, right? To be to occupy that space and be trustworthy in that way. And so yeah, trust is everything as far as like connecting and partnering with a company that's able to help you to start your building early, start your building now, right? Don't wait until the last minute. You can start now, and the first step is to acquire the land. And once you acquire the land, it's up to you how often, like you take it in stages, put up your fence. And I'm sure Moses will go a little bit more into detail about that. But yeah, you don't have to wait until you get a whole chunk of, money and say, okay, here it is. And then, go do the thing. You can always start small. Start small. The most important thing, you can't do anything unless you first have the land.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. You said something that kind of made me think, but I'm concerned if I forgot it. No.
How old are we?
Oh.
No.
But okay. And so, like what you were saying, if you're able to find that trustworthy person or trustworthy business company, that is on the ground while you're still in whatever Western country you're in, that is really kind of an amazing way to go. I think that what stops probably 90% of people from doing that is finding a trustworthy, person that they can work with. But when you're able to find someone that you trust in that regard, you're already in the system. You're already there. You've already been working at your job. You've already been getting your salary. You've already been doing these things. And so it's just easier, to set aside a certain amount per paycheck. The effort that you would spend to set aside money, this is my Ghana savings money, and I'm putting it aside to save it, for the time that I'm going to go to Ghana and scout out things and start my projects X, Y, and Z. Like, okay. But if you're able to find a trustworthy person, it would take, I feel, less effort to set aside that money, to send it, while you're still working, you're still getting money in. And I say this because, if you save a certain amount and you leave and you come to Ghana to start your project, one, it kind of delays you in coming to Ghana, because you have to save a certain amount that you feel is enough to begin your investment, right? But then also, two, once you are here, either you're finding a trustworthy person with your own boots on the ground, which takes time, or you're kind of going at it yourself, which you kind of don't know. Ghana is different than the U.S., trying to do things completely by yourself without knowing how things operate, how things work, where exactly to go, what information is accurate and what information is not, it's time consuming, and it can be very, very stressful and frustrating.
Right.
It really can. And if you're able to find a trustworthy person who is already here, who already knows how things work, things will are able to go a whole lot smoother and faster for you. That's why, one of the main reasons that I would say it's kind of easy. But the caveat to that is you have to find a person that's trustworthy. A person that has integrity, a person that is reliable, a person that values communication. Knows the importance of communication, because it's a big step. Somebody willing to, send the money that they have worked for, that they have earned, to a whole nother country, trust someone to be like, build this for me, and when I'm ready, I'm going to come and occupy the space, and so that's such an important part, of that process.
Amen. I think I don't know if you had. Okay. I think it's important to consider all of that you said. Is like you said some really key things. But one of the things that I wanted to touch a little bit more on is stepping out on faith to do those things, right? Make sure that you're including the Most High in on your journey, right? Pray before you do anything, right? Check the fruit of the people, right? That you're looking. Listen, that you're looking to. That you're looking to connect and do business with, right? And don't be afraid to like demand, like, not really demand, but don't be afraid to be a part of the process, right? It's your journey, right? It's your thing, right? It's your building, it's your home, it's your land, right? And so don't feel like you have to shrink back and, I'm not gonna bother people, I don't want to ask. No, you need to ask all the questions you need to ask, right? And don't be afraid to take a trip, book a flight, come and see and be involved, right? It's a whole journey in the process, and it's a beautiful one at that, right? And so that's what I would say to it.
Okay, well, yes, back to, I don't know if you have something to say. Another thing that I wish I would have known before I left the U.S. I wish I would have known, and I will forever say this. I think I said this maybe 2 or 3 times before. I wish I would have known that I could get the yellow fever shot at the airport if you're coming to, if you are coming to Ghana. That the yellow fever shot is required to enter into Ghana. They offer it in the U.S., but at a higher rate. No matter where you live at, it's going to be a supremely higher rate. I wish I would have known before I left that they offer it at the airport for $20.
Wow. Now, we're not saying that's what it is now.
Yeah,
right?
We're not saying that's what it is now.
That's what it was when we...
And also last I checked, which was like maybe 2 months ago, it was still $20 at the airport.
Right.
I wish I would have known that, and I'm kind of crying internal tears. But you guys know. Now you know. So they offer at the airport $20 last I checked. And so,
Right. So I think these are very, very important points that we've all made. And we constantly want to share with you experiences and knowledge on the ground to help make your journey a little easier, because once you are informed, you do things better than when you are misinformed. Of course, there are a lot of information online, but sometimes they are very different relatively when you touch ground. And so yes, we constantly want to give you the ground information. So yes, if you're out there thinking that you want to move to the continent, you want to move to Ghana, and you think it's going to be difficult to acquire land, it's going to be difficult to, build up your own house and own it. We are here to tell you that it seemed so on the internet, but on the ground, it's really possible. Okay. It's really possible with, stress-free movement if you're working with the right people. It's really possible if you're working with the trustworthy people. It's really simple, as that, and then things move faster. Mm-hmm. And, the process of building is just simple. finding a trustworthy person, like Sadie said, get involved in the process. From time to time, come down to check, and don't feel like you have to amass a whole lot of money before you be able to start. Start with the little you have, poco a poco. Little by little. Start with the little you have. If today you have $3,000, start something. Can it do a foundation? Start with that. When that is done, the next stage, what does it require? $7,000, $10,000. You go according to your strength. Right. And by the time you realize, voila, you have, you have your building, you have your projects done. And you can start. You can have a plan of one good thing that I've seen here in Ghana, and people don't know, so I want to put it out there. I've seen projects where the plan is to build a 5-bedroom house. But because they don't have the money for the entire 5-bedroom house, what they do is they put up the entire foundation for the 5-bedroom and then build 3-bedroom house out of it, roof it, and live in it.
Wow.
Exactly. Build 3-bedroom or 2-bedroom out of the 5-bedroom plan. Finish it and live in it. And as they go with their life and businesses and their money begin to come, they continue adding the rest and building the rest. You can do that. Right. You can do that. Or maybe as part of the plan, you have, even if you're not putting up the rest of the foundation, just put up a 2-bedroom. But know that the reason why I said the foundation, so that at the end of it all, when it's all done, it all look uniform and one and nice. And so people do that. Several people, if you're working in the community, you see a lot of people who has done that. Even native Ghanaians, their plan is to build a 5-bedroom, 6-bedroom house or a 4-bedroom house. But then now their money can only afford 2-bedroom, and they do that to prevent them from renting over and over again until they are done with their projects. And so if I'm renting someone's apartment, but then after that my project is a 4-bedroom house, but guess what? I don't have the money to finish the entire 4-bedroom house. I'll focus on finishing 2-bedroom house, move in, and while I'm there, because now I'm not paying you rent, so I can save some money and put it in the project for me to, advance faster. So these are some of the tips that we want you to know. Yeah.
And so one other thing that I wanted to add on, like we had an opportunity and we were blessed to not only help individuals purchase land, all right, and but also we help people build community, like purchase land to build out communities. Right. And so even if the Most High is giving you the idea of building out a community, like we are able to help you do that as well. And so it's not just like you can, if you have the idea of building out something in a state for you and your family, your brothers, your sisters, your aunts, your cousins.
Which is a beautiful idea.
Or if you just have the idea to build out a community, a gated community or what have you, right? And so that's also possible as well. And you can also do that little by little as well. Right. And so, I just wanted to put that out. So it's not only people who want to purchase for their individual selves, but also those who are looking to build out communities as well.
So what I was going to say to what Moses has said, really once you're in a position that you can stop renting, listen, opportunities abound. You know what I'm saying? Especially those of us who are coming to Ghana with a savings and haven't necessarily worked out, a steady flow of income just yet. Renting will take out such a large chunk of your money, because you're renting per year. You're not renting, month by month. And so the person who is able to come quickly build their project, like Moses was saying, even if you're setting the foundation for a 4-bedroom, 5-bedroom house, but, you're able to afford right now to build the 2, and roof it and, furnish the inside and live in it until you're able to do the rest. That is 100% better than somebody who has to continually rent year by year while they're still trying to finish out their 4 or 5-bedroom project. It's going to set you back, and it's going to cause you to take longer time to finish your space. But like once you stop renting, you guys, hey, opportunities abound. And then you get to start looking at other investments that you want to do. You start looking at, putting your money elsewhere, doing other things, expanding, diversifying. That's our favorite term, diversifying, diversifying. And, it's able to open up a whole lot more for you. And so, yes, that's so important. And honestly, that's another thing I wish I would have known before I left the U.S. that, outside of the mortgage system where you have to, even when you're getting a mortgage, you have to pay a down payment on your mortgage. Mm-hmm. And, depending on your credit score, that depends on how large or small your mortgage down payment is, just like when you're getting a car loan, I should say. But I wish I'd have known that here, at least I can speak for Ghana, that just as Moses was saying, you can start small. You can do little by little, however much it costs to do a foundation, start there. When you purchase your land, however much it costs to do a fence wall, start there. And, once your land is secured, you can kind of chill out for a little bit, get your money and then start your foundation, then start your home or whatever you're doing. I wish I would have known also that you can set the foundation for a larger home and then do a smaller project. And then later on, nobody is hassling you, is what I'm saying. Nobody is nobody is on your back to, oh, you have to finish this right now. Oh, you have to pay for this. Oh, you have to have at least enough money to pay for X, Y, and Z. Like, all you really have to do is have enough money to pay for the next step. And it don't work like that in the U.S. And I feel like that's how a lot of us believe that home ownership and things that, you can own yourself, like land in the U.S., it don't seem attainable to the average person. At least it didn't for me, and that's another thing I wish I would have known. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, Sadie, this true. This true. Sadie kind of even mention something about people looking to put our community, and I just want to add a little to that. And so yes, if you are an organization out there or a group of people out there that you have made up your mind to move to the continent altogether, as a group, yes, we are here, we are open to help you establish certain things before you get here. We're saying that because we've been helping people do that. We have a particular client that has a group and they are all looking to move together. Mm-hmm. And through the help of the Most High, we've been able to, help them acquire land and put up their community plan, the architectural drawing. Mm-hmm. And all of these stages, we involve them. We involve them, okay? So we put up this structural drawing, we go to them, what's the plan that they want. Like we show them on videos, and then they have representative time to time coming down to inspect all of those things, inspect the land, inspect how everything. And so it's beautiful. And I love it when people come together or a group come together and they want to do things, even though you are all there trying to put things together. But guess what? If you reach out to us and you want us to have a talk on that, we can have a talk on that. And while we are here, we can help you, get things really done faster before you move down here. So yes, we are open, always open. Our phone numbers are all over. You can go to our website as well and, leave us a message. You can leave us a message down this comment, and, we're going to pick it from there and go. If you're an individual too, we put up a video about our upcoming, community that we are putting out here in the Volta region of Ghana. And so you can also go find that video and have a look at it. I want to give you a little nugget on that. It's a beautiful, currently it's a 40-acre land, but just as the name says, 40-acre is not a lot. So if you're interested, don't think that it's going to be, 40 acres is a lot of land and I want to at least reach out to us, let's talk, in that perspective, because by the time you realize 40 acre is gone, because some people come with their family in mind, that I want to buy the land and build for my family. And so my sister, my brother, by the time the person is done, one person is taking like 2 to 3 acres. One person is taking like 2 to 3 acres. And so if you take 2 to 3 acres out of that, is going. If you have about 10, 15 people thinking family, by the time you realize the land is left with almost nothing. And so we do that. And we are here, apart from land, if you want questions on land, if you want questions on how projects are being put up here, if you want general questions about Ghana too, don't forget to always reach out to us. Put it in the comment section. Let's interact. For instance, someone made a comment. Someone left us a comment, and then we came all the way to do a video. Just it took our time to explain things for that particular person, and shout out to you. And so it could be you. If you have questions on your mind and stuff, feel free to reach out to us. We are not difficult people. Very simple and fun people to do. So yes, we put it out there. And if you're new to the channel as well, don't forget to subscribe as always. I think Sadie wanted to say something.
What I wanted to say, it's a little off a little bit, but one of the things that I wish I would have known, but maybe not so much off. One of the things I wish I would have known about is that as a foreigner, I can start a business here in Ghana prior to coming, right? And so you can do that as well. You know what I mean? You don't have to. You know what I mean? You don't have to wait until you get here. Like, you can collaborate and with other people, like, you know what I mean? I really want to do something like with people who are interested with business, and really like us come together, right? And just brainstorm about the different businesses that can be established, and the possibility of collaboration, because I know that is a big factor for some people. Not only are they wanting to repatriate, but they're considering, okay, well, if I repatriate, how do I sustain myself when I'm there, right? And so sometimes it's better, right, when you can come together as a group and discuss these things and talk it out, and 2 people or 3 people come together, and things can bloom from there, right? And so yeah, family, that's what I want to say.
And to kind of add on to what you were saying, one thing I think that the business, I think maybe we can call it a cohort possibility. I think that is so needed, because outside of taking the leap of faith to even get here, that is one of the main concerns.
Right.
How can I sustain myself, while I'm here? What are the jobs like? Which, spoiler alert, like don't come here looking for the jobs, But also,
but there's so much opportunity for business, you wouldn't want to.
Right. You don't need to. Like, why? And plus, who wants to leave a place that you're clocking in and then go to a new place that you're also clocking in? We leaving those ways behind. All praises to the Most High. But also, to tag on to what Mom was saying, I wish I would have known that people are welcoming. Everybody's not welcoming. I'm not saying 100% everybody, because I know there's always somebody that's going to be in the comments like, I went to Ghana and this happened to me. I'm not saying 100% everybody, but majority of people, the majority of Ghanaians that we have encountered, that we have interacted with, that we have talked to, have been so welcoming and so nice and so willing to help, and it's not a hassle to them. And, it has really helped us grow. At least I can speak for myself. It has helped me grow. It has helped me, expand my mindset when it comes to, Ghanaians and then Africans as a whole. In the West, what they tell us is that, they don't like y'all. There's a reason that, y'all are separate, y'all are different, X, Y, and Z. Like, don't believe that false narrative. Okay, don't. And then there are also people who just want to, they believe what they hear through the media. They believe in the stereotypes. But what I will say is that the majority of people that we have met have been very welcoming, very helpful. And so that's another thing that I wish I would have known before I left the U.S., because I did have that mindset of, why would I go to Africa? Like, they don't accept me there. So, might as well just stay here. Like, no, it's not like that, y'all. It's not like that.
One thing you want to do is like really check fear.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Check that fear. One thing that you can do to help you check out, cancel out fear, is to operate and move according to the word of the Most High, right? And so when you have the Most High giving you the go, then you have the confidence, right, to say, hey, the Most High is giving me the go. That means that when I go, everything is okay. Everything is going to be good, right? And plus, when you get here, it's not, like Ashley was saying, it's not what the media has portrayed it to be, right? It's beautiful here. People are living their lives. And, I mean, it's a beautiful scenery. It's a different environment. And because you have left out of one system and you're entering into a new system, it gives you a different perspective on life and a way of living, different cultures and things like that. And so, hey, I say, listen, but all that is going on in the West, I say really consider leaving. And at this point, family, I'm saying look at wherever that the Most High put on your heart to lean to. So if it's Mexico, go on to Mexico. If it's Thailand, go on to Thailand. If it's Bali, come to Bali, right? If it's on the continent, come on to the continent, right? But there's so much that's going on in the world right now that it's really time for us to really perk up and pay attention. Like, hey, okay, there's a lot that's going on, and I really need to start paying attention and start preparing for different possibilities that can be taking place, you know.
Right.
All right, family. In the absence of any other, I think we've given you enough. And so maybe if you have more questions, you can get to us in the comment section. And we are going to reply to you. But if you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and click on the notification bell to get notified anytime we post an amazing content like this one. There's an upcoming webinar that we are going to have on Sunday, most I willing. And so it's going to be conversations and, information about land, how to acquire land, how to do your due diligence, what to look out for, even delve a little bit into the indenture. And we are also going to go details about, our upcoming community, the tiny home aspect, the lands available in it, and how you can actually acquire one for yourself. So it's a power pack webinar that is coming on. You want to be part of it, you can go to our website to book your spot. It's absolutely free. We want to give back, to the blessings we've been receiving. So it's absolutely free. And then you want to be part of it so that, you get informed and know what to do. So yes, in the absence of any other thing from my colleagues, I officially say bye-bye to you, and thank you for your time, and thank you for watching. Until we meet again.
Shalom.